In this video, we're taking you trackside for a look at some of the most eye-catching machines that rolled into the March Cars and Coffee Concord. Stick around to the end, you won't want to miss one of the rarest cars we've ever seen here, a 1935 V12 Auburn Speedster Supercharged. Cars and Coffee isn't just a meet, it's where passion for all things automotive come to life. From backyard builders to seasoned collectors, this community lives and breathes cars. You'll also hear from a couple of our team members as they chat with proud owners and uncover the stories behind the builds. But before we jump in, let me quickly introduce the guys behind the mic. First up, Mark Blumenthal. Many of you have spoken with him recently as he's been working from our office helping vendors secure their space for the upcoming auto fair. Mark is no stranger to the scene himself. He's owned more collectible cars than he can count, and his current pride and joy is a beautifully kept 1969 Camaro. Next, you'll meet Tim Wells, the guy behind the camera for most of our videos, and he's really our digital and online presence. Tim's helping us take things to the next level with videos and marketing, but he's also a car nut through and through. Originally from New Zealand, you might hear a slight accent, Tim's had a couple of classic golden Kingswoods, a staple of the Aussie and Kiwi roads from back in the day. So, grab a coffee, settle in, let's check out some of the standout cars from the March edition of Cars and Coffee Concord.
Hey guys, Mark in here at the Cars and Coffee in Concord, here with Don, looking at his beautiful 1954 Chevy 5100 Cabover. Don, this is a beautiful example, and I'd love to hear more about it. What can you tell me about this truck?
Well, thank you. I found it in 2012 in Hickory, North Carolina.
Wow.
Brought it home, and I spent 5 years restoring it. Had a lot of fun doing it, and now I just drive it and enjoy having fun with it.
Wow.
So,
well, it's beautiful. So you found it kind of semi-locally and kept it in the area. I'd love to hear that. What can you tell me about the drivetrain and your restoration process?
Well, I built a frame. I added an 82 one-ton Chevy front and rear axle. I put a big block Chevrolet in it with an overdrive transmission. I've got all the comforts, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, nice paint, nice interior, and just enjoy the truck. I'm glad to be able to preserve it.
Oh man, well, it's a beautiful example.
Thank you.
The interior is just immaculate. I love how you integrated the vintage air system with it.
Yeah.
Now you were telling me a little earlier about the brake system.
Yeah.
And how that was integrated. What can you tell me about that?
The brakes on the front are disc brakes, standard Chevy,
Okay.
and on the back is extremely large brake drums, and the truck will just stop on a dime. It's
Wow.
the truck weighs in at about 5,200 pounds.
Goodness.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of weight to stop. That's
Yeah.
impressive. So you've got a lot of details that you just painstakingly restored, all of them, just so immaculately. Now, did this start out with a pickup bed?
This was actually a light semi-truck with a 20-foot flatbed.
Wow.
I converted it into a pickup truck. I custom made most of the rear end and added rear fenders to it.
Wow, that's beautiful. Now that doesn't look like the stock height for the bed. Did you shorten that?
I actually lowered the rear fender
Okay.
to line up with the front fender so that they were pretty straight.
Wow. Those details really make a difference.
It does.
Looks
It does.
amazing. Let's
Yeah.
come take a look at the bed real quick. I know you said there are some specific details back here, a couple little things that you changed to make it more user-friendly.
Exactly. This is a 1-ton 54 Chevy standard truck bed that I added.
Okay.
I removed the chains and I put a drop-down tailgate,
Oh,
and of course added oak flooring to the bed.
absolutely.
Added some little plugs to cover up the open hole.
Wow, that integration with the hinge there is so much cleaner than the chains.
Yes.
That would eventually slap against the paint.
And it's much quieter.
I'm sure going down the road. So Don, one other thing you were mentioning was your gas cap here, which is pretty unique. What can you tell me about it?
Well, in the original truck, the gas tank was behind the seat. So I've moved the gas tank to underneath the frame, and by pushing the center here will allow me to access the gas tank, and that's where the filler neck is for the gas.
That is very cool. Keeps it a lot cleaner smelling inside the cab, I imagine.
Absolutely, and much safer outside the cab.
Absolutely. That's very cool. Of course, the beautiful oak floor on the bed there. Now, what can you tell me? I know you mentioned that you painstakingly cleaned up everything, including the bolts that you got. What can you tell me about that little detail that you added?
Most of the bolts are stainless steel. Well, all of them are stainless steel. And I've sat down and sanded off any identifying marks, polished the bolts, and put back onto the truck to make a smooth look all the way around.
Wow, just slicked it up.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Well, it looks great. There's one other detail that you mentioned, just behind the license plate. What do you have hiding back there?
I have a large tow hitch. You just pull the pin, the license plate comes out, and you add the receiver so that you can tow whatever you need to.
Which this thing could absolutely tow anything you need to.
It could do that, yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible. This is such a beautiful piece of equipment.
Thank you.
You've done such a great job. I even love the little details where you had an artist come in and outline all the Chevrolet lettering
Sure did.
to match the interior.
I did, yes.
Man, all those little details just make such a beautiful specimen of a truck. Thank you so much for sharing it with me, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. Yes, sir.
All right, Dan, well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So I'd love to hear a little bit about your vehicle. Tell me about what you got here.
Well, it's a 1946 Chevy pickup.
Awesome.
I found it about 11 years ago. And I told my neighbor that I was looking for a project, an old car, an old truck. And he said, my brother-in-law's got an old truck that he's had forever, probably never do anything with. And it sat for 28 years, and it was actually in better shape rust-wise than what I thought it was.
Right, yeah.
So I brought it home, blew it all apart, got the engine running that had sat for 28 years. I rebuilt the carburetor and the fuel pump and points and condenser and all that stuff, and put liquid Mystery Marvel oil and left it sit.
Okay.
But I got the motor running.
Yeah, and is that the original motor for the vehicle?
No, it's actually a 58,
A 58.
to 62 235.
Okay. And
Now,
straight inline six?
Yes,
Yeah.
inline six. Now, originally it was a 216, which is in that same family of engines,
Yeah.
but this is a little later model.
Okay.
And then I put a 4-barrel carburetor on it, put headers on it, and electronic ignition,
Right.
so that I wanted to make the thing dependable so I could drive it and drive out the highway at highway speed.
Yeah.
So it's got an S10 5-speed transmission.
Oh,
in it.
5-speed.
Yep. It's got a Blazer rear end, which is
Right.
out of a Chevy Blazer. It's a 373 rear gear with limited slip, and it has rear disc brakes. So I put a Fat Man front end, independent front end in it, so the truck has 4-wheel disc brakes.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Yeah.
The body is the way I found it. There's a couple places that I had to fix some rust. I put new metal in. But as far as the paint and stuff like that, it's pretty much the way I found it. So the first thing I did was I took 6 wheels and had them powder coated that color.
Right.
And that's where it kind of started. All the interior and stuff is that same
It's the
color.
same matching the
matching the
wheels.
color.
It's nice.
And that was my intent and purpose, to keep the inside pretty much original.
Yep.
Now, if you notice, all the pedals down there.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so the small one on the very right, you push that to start it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mechanical starter.
And is that how it came from the factory?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's one of the things that I wanted to, when I put the different transmission in it, I wanted to keep the interior looking pretty much original.
Yeah.
The pedals and the emergency brake and the gear shift, I wanted that to look pretty much original, so that's why I decided to go that way. And there's little touches like, this is called a viewfinder. And what it is you look through that glass and the way it's cut, when I pull up, because of this visor, when I pull up to a signal light, you can't see the signal light.
Oh, yeah.
So they call that a viewfinder. The way that glass is cut, it reflects the light. You can see what color the signal light is.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was something that you bought at a GM dealership, like in their parts department. That was an accessory back in the 50s and the 60s. Little things over the years. This light in the back, the stop light, that's off of an old school bus back in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
So when I push on the brake, that lights up and it says stop on it.
All right, well, Dan, thank you very much. I appreciate your time showing me your beautiful truck here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mark here at the Cars and Coffee in Concord, looking at an Auburn Supercharger. This is a pretty rare car. Auburn was actually founded in Auburn, Indiana in 1900. So this is a very, very old car, very rare. They changed some things throughout the years. Looks like in the 20s, they upgraded the engine to a 4.5 from a 4.3. And then in 35, they upgraded to a V12, which is what looks like this car has. The styling on it was very distinctive for the time. The speed that it could achieve was around 100 miles per hour, which in today's standards is equivalent to a 200 mile per hour supercar. So you can see the body lines are very, very classic and distinctive, very similar to like a German engineering car of the same era from the 20s into the 30s. It is a gorgeous car. Super rare. In 1935, when this model came out, there were only 147 of them produced and sold. Wow. Who knows how many are around today? That's wild.